Let's get it on!
Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon insiders, Sean and Tristan Ducross.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Warriors, the Ducross Brothers. I'm Tristan Ducross. On my side, as always, my brother, Sean Ducross. As you can see, before we get into the show, I want my man, Lyle Murdoch, to drop something, drop the commercial, because it's about this guy that's in the middle, now headlining our MMA bobblehead trio. Thank you, Dave Manley, for that. This one is ridiculous. Bruce Buffer, the man, the creator, the voice of the UFC, is here, right here, on the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. Appreciate it. All these comes with an authenticity piece of paper that tells you that Bruce Buffer was involved in this. Also, we got one of the ones that are limited edition out of 1,000. So thank you, Dave Manley, for this. Really do appreciate it. Doing great things, finally, for the MMA community by bringing to an actual MMA bobblehead. Really do appreciate it. Do you have that queued up? All right, let's go to the commercial. MMA bobblehead, Bruce Buffer.
It's time! Oh my... It's time! No. It's time.
Bruce, time for dinner!
I do have to admit, MMA bobblehead continues to take the next step, and I cannot wait for the next MMA bobblehead that he has set coming out, because we know, and if you think this is incredible, that next one is that much better. So every single time he keeps doing a bobblehead, Dave Manley steps up his game that next one. But in the meantime, so thank you, Dave Manley, for hooking up the Ducross Brothers with this. Appreciate it. As the continued growth of MMA bobblehead, get your MMA bobblehead at MMAbobblehead.com. Get your Bruce Buffer one. The quantities are running out, so get them while you still can. In the meantime, UFC 229 is right around the corner, and, well, a little bit of a hot topic is the Khabib versus Conor McGregor. But before all this came out, we have Brett Akimoto breaking the news about UFC 230's main event. As you and I were talking about, it's like, how can we even talk about the UFC 230 event ahead of UFC 229? Because we got Conor McGregor versus Khabib. Well, quite frankly, it's because of who it is and what happened and how we got here. I sent a little something to Lyle. Can you pull up the image that I just sent you?
Just sent me?
Yes. Let's see if we can get that up on the screen here too. Because the UFC 230 announced their main event, and it's not who you think it is. Many people thought, hey, it could have been Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier for a 165 strap, the mythological monster that they created on Twitter. But instead of having this fight at 231, a bout agreement signed.
Oh, the Brett?
Yes. Can you pull that up? Because this fight, 231 JJ versus Shamalenko, was supposed to happen for a title, only for it to be flipped, and JJ had to pull out because it wasn't going to happen. All right, go ahead, Lyle, drop it. Look at this. Brett Akimoto on his Twitter dropped this. It said, UFC President Dana White tells me Shamalenko Eubanks is a done deal. This is breaking news as of a day ago. UFC 230, November 3rd at Madison Square Garden. This was fight that they were trying to make versus JJ and Shevchenko to get it over to 230. JJ didn't want it to happen.
You should have made this fight against Jessica Andrade.
Right. Or I don't know.
I wouldn't even do JJ right now. Not for the title. You should have done Jessica Andrade.
Okay, but what about where we were at when you and I were talking about earlier? Is that Manolo Hurricane Hernandez has a lady out of San Diego named Liz Carmouche. And I get a little irritated with this because we're talking about Liz Carmouche, and Liz isn't even in a conversation for a title yet. She's beaten your champ before. So I'm trying to figure this out, how Liz continues to get passed over and gets passed over by a 3-2 Eubanks. Somebody needs to explain this to me at how.
Last week we discussed this, okay? When we talked about the potential, the 165 title for Poirier versus Diaz.
Right.
Basically, by saying that Eubanks versus Shevchenko is the main event for UFC 230, basically is exactly what I told you Dana White was going to do. Either A, he was going to make this fight versus Poirier. Guess when it comes down to when you're the dad and you're trying to figure out, that old tired line of, well, which kid do you really like? That you always get told that growing up. Well, your parents always has that one kid that they always prefer over the other kid. Lyle probably could say that. Dana White's probably going to say that he has that one kid that he favors. And that one kid clearly is Conor McGregor. As we're staring down the end of the tunnel here, as UFC 229 is coming up, you got that coming down this weekend, October 6th, Conor McGregor versus Khabib. Apparently, it just matters what your end game is.
Right.
Because Conor McGregor threw a dolly through a bus window.
But it was started by Khabib.
Got arrested, got charged. Now we're here. So you see that it kind of is a revolving door of who Dana White prefers. And in this situation, you flip over from the UFC 230, he clearly prefers Conor McGregor. Now we're looking finally at the end of the road. The wait is over. Conor McGregor will square off against Khabib. So when you look at this, the betting odds are crazy for this. You have the betting odds at minus
you're looking at a guy that has tasted defeat in Conor McGregor and a guy that hasn't tasted defeat in combat sports. And I look that as a storyline as well in this fight because nobody's talking about that. Conor knows what defeat tastes like, but he knows what money tastes like. Khabib doesn't know what defeat tastes like, doesn't know what money tastes like. So we're looking at an avenue now that Conor and Khabib will both take home probably the biggest revenue in UFC history and break records.
There's a lot of firsts when it comes to this fight.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of question marks that come into this fight, and you think, well, Conor McGregor, Nurmagomedov, how do you have question marks? The question marks is you got a big grizzly bear in Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov is a pure wrestler. His striking is suspect. You look across the other side and you got an angry Irishman. Not with the whole city of, or the whole country of Ireland on his back.
Precision beats power every time.
Absolutely. So when you look at that and you try to transition to what stylistic matchup you're going to get, and it was asked to be this weekend, that who do I have in this fight? It is really hard to really pick one or the other because one's really good at one thing, the other one's really good at one thing.
Yeah, to me it's like as if you're taking a quarter and you're flipping it heads or tails.
So the way this works or revolves around and potentially changes is we go back to Ronda Rousey. We go back to that day in time.
When there was a blueprint established on how you beat Ronda Rousey.
And that was patience is key. When you lose patience against Ronda Rousey, she snapped you like a twig with her judo toss, put you on the back, snapped your arm just like that. See, the flaw in Nurmagomedov is the fact is that he's a bulldozer. He's a straight shooter.
Really relentless in his pursuit to get you down.
So the comparisons are very similar to Ronda Rousey. So when you look back and watch when Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey, she beat Ronda Rousey because she stayed in her pocket. She stayed comfortable.
And I think that's what has to happen in this fight.
If you are Conor McGregor, come at me. Because this left hand is going to crack off your dome. When you go to shoot, I'm going to take my knee, I'm going to shove it up into your dome. That's going to be the key in this situation when you look at Conor McGregor and how he approaches this. You said it. Precision beats power. Precision beats relentless. Patience beats everything. Yes, Conor McGregor's been out for almost 2 years. But we're forgetting that we're seeing the best mind in this game that we've ever seen. The most understanding anybody's ever had in this game has been Conor McGregor. Nurmagomedov says, oh, you know what? I don't drink. I don't party.
Hey, I
just smash fools.
But you made it very personal when you brought in his family and his outside and bringing in stuff. Man, I don't know. But when you call somebody an alcoholic and you don't know that backstory to it,
that's a poor man's, to me, that was a poor man's dig at trying to trash talk.
Absolutely.
There are some people that are really good at trash talking. There are some people that are absolutely horrible at trash talking. And Nurmagomedov is that guy that is atrocious at trash talking. Stand there, look like the scary little Russian guy that you don't want to meet in the back alley of Russia, and avoid him. Because that's the type of mentality you've had to deal with for years with Khabib. Is the ability of this eeriness about him. This uncomfortable willingness of, do you want to embrace the grind? No. You don't want to be taken down and beaten to a pulp. He beats people to a pulp.
And when you're Conor McGregor,
how good is your wrestling?
Right. You have to think about taking this completely out of his comfort zone. If you're Conor McGregor, it's going to be the battle of who is going to come out of their comfort zone first.
You know, here's two stats or 3 stats for you, Tristan. You really want to see how technical and analytical Conor McGregor can get? And want to see how things you can twist with the fight fans so quickly? Okay? the first fight against Nate Diaz, where you got Conor McGregor submitted
Yes.
on the ground.
Tasted defeat.
He could not get Nate Diaz off of him. In that fight, he landed 43% of his strikes. He gassed out. He got submitted by Nate Diaz. Second fight. See the evolution? We talk about the evolution of fighting.
And the
In the
IQ,
second-
Sean,
in
and
the
the
se-
IQ of
in-
fighters.
In the second fight, Conor McGregor lasted 3 rounds longer. He
Flipped the
took
script.
he took the fight to Nate Diaz, where he landed 57% of his strikes. So the evolution of him understanding on how to withstand pressure and grappling has changed.
Right. And so the people that say that he doesn't have a chance to outgrind a fighter.
And those ones that say that he does not have a chance to stop a world-class wrestler in Khabib, one step further. How many of y'all knew that Conor McGregor's takedown defense is 73%? May we go back and remind everybody when he stuffed takedown after takedown attempt from Eddie Alvarez, Chad Mendez? So everybody's quick to say that, yo, Conor McGregor can't stop Khabib. May we remind you, anybody that has doubted Conor McGregor before,
he's done it before.
he's put him on notice and said exactly what he said he's going to do. He said, go ahead, I'll wrestle you. I can wrestle you. I'll take you down.
It's those that
Don't
people,
be surprised if he embraces the combat of tell me something I can't do and I'll show you that.
But
he
that's
did
been-
that in boxing.
Sean, but that's been our motto too. Tell us something that we can't do, and we'll be damned and we'll prove you wrong. Conor McGregor is that prime example. Everybody doesn't like Conor McGregor, and I don't even surely think that they fully understand why people hate Conor McGregor outside of their one complaint is he talks too damn much.
It's the same reason why the generation hates Floyd Mayweather. When you are absolutely the best at your game
And what you do
make people look foolish, you annoy that person because you don't want to see that. Like, dude, that guy's
and we
that
eliminate,
guy's not that good.
Right, because we eliminate everything that we have built, everything that is out there, because magnified, because all we care about is, well, this guy talks too much. This guy is a bully, or this guy is pushing this envelope. We forget about the body of a work about how he got here. Conor McGregor was the guy in Ireland that was living on food stamps. Nobody cares about that. What do they care about, Sean? About him talking, trash talking. What do we know Conor McGregor for? About Floyd Mayweather. He got strippers on the payroll. We know about that. Why? Because it was brought to us. The bag of money when he threw it. Why do we know about that? Because that was brought to us. Nobody talks about any of his fights anymore. About why he is a double champ. No, you want to discredit everything that he has done.
And it's quick and easy because apparently he just talks too much jargon. But the other fight that stands out on this fight is like, so at the end of the day, minus 155 Nurmagomedov,
Yep.
plus 125. Clearly as day, I'll go Conor McGregor.
I'm putting my money on McGregor.
The other one that stood out is that finally Derek Lewis and Alexander Volkov is not the co-main event. Instead is Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis.
Which could be a main event in itself. So
But the question I have is how healthy is Tony Ferguson
that's what I want to know.
and how much ring rust is it? Because we are seeing, again, my favorite phrase, the evolution of fighters. And Anthony Pettis understanding, forget it. I'm just going to go for broke. I have nothing left to lose.
When you lose
but if he
everything-
wins, he's Showtime.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Showtime versus Notorious? Or better yet, you know what type of promo UFC could do with El Kakui?
When you're looking at these four fighters, two storylines come out of this. And I'm saying four fighters because I think this co-main event in Tony Ferguson and Anthony Pettis has a little bit more tie than what many people think to the main event. And I say that surely because Khabib is notoriously known to have a mysterious injury or illness come fight day and will be pulled from this main event. So you have a backup plan, unlike UFC 230. You have a main event in the wings. So Okakui, Anthony Pettis.
But the odds in that fight are far stranger, I guess you could say. Because Tony Ferguson is the favorite.
Yes.
Being gone for almost a year and a half.
Which is weird.
At minus 360. And Anthony Pettis is plus 270. Anthony Pettis is coming off of a knockout win and a statement.
And he looks scary. He looks like the old Showtime.
He looks hungry again.
Yes.
But this card is so deep. OSP.
Dominic
Reyes.
And itself, that has some implications too in the light heavyweight division.
But then again, it's which OSP are you going to get?
That's very true. Michelle Waterson versus Felice Herrig.
Just go back and play Level Up video.
Level up. Dude,
that's the only thing that matters. Apparently, she's got 20,000 new followers because of the Level Up video.
I so have to find that video and send that over to our producer. He has to play that.
And then we'll play it when we come back from our break as we go right into it. We have Bellator 206 coming up.
Yep. We're the New Cross Brothers, the Sports Warriors. I'm Tristan New Cross. I'm going to find that video because Michelle Watterson. Thank you for that one. Then we got Kelvin Laura, from the IE marketing director. He's in the Warriors Den with the brothers. So we're going to get him on here soon. So in the meantime, we'll be right back. We're the Sports Warriors.
You're now listening to the Sports Warriors with Sean and Tristan Ducross every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want all your local amateur MMA news? You want a new fresh take on pro MMA? This is your show every Wednesday on IELiveTV.com and Facebook Live.
It's time! Oh my... It's time! No, it's time.
Bruce, time for dinner!
Hello, I'm Lyle Murdoch of IE Live TV. Have you ever had an idea or dreamt about producing your own show? Or maybe you just have an event that you'd like to make available online? Then contact us here at IE Live TV. We are using the latest technology in live streaming and top quality video equipment in our productions. Servicing all audio and video needs, our systems are compact, wireless, and completely mobile, so our presence is barely noticeable. Here at IE Live TV, we're doing high quality audio and video productions at a fraction of the cost of other production studios. To find us, just go to www.ielivetv.com or give us a call at 866-831-5737. IE Live TV for quality live video streaming.
What's up, everybody? We are back. I'm Tristan Cross. My Cross. We are the New Cross Brothers Sports Warriors. We do this every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch us on Facebook Live. You can catch us on YouTube. We're also IELiveTV.com. Our producer, Lyle Murdoch, dude, holding it down for us every Wednesday. MMA bobblehead. We got 3 of them now. We got the latest. Bruce Buffer in the building. We ran the commercial earlier. Incredible. Dave Manley, you were stupid for this one. I can't wait for the next one because you keep outdoing yourself, brother.
October 20th, Night of the Champions, IE Fight Night. We're still looking for some fighters. Get at David Bramlett. Get at Lorenz Larkin. We're looking. Hit us up on our Instagram. Hit them up on IE Fight Night on their Instagram. They've got the fighters that we're currently looking for. Make sure you're checking it out.
In the meantime,
Bellator 206 happened on DAZN.
And, well, it didn't exactly go according to plan for one fighter.
Yeah, I watched that fight. I felt bad for Rory McDonald. When you look at that fight and you saw Rory McDonald, you saw the contrast between the two. You saw that Mousasi was clearly the bigger fighter in that. You also saw the fact that when you've been doing this for over a decade, there's a clear, decisive, yeah, I'm better than you. You're not better than me. And when you look at this and you're like, well, Roy McDonald, why didn't you take him down? At some point in the first round, when Gegard Mousasi is popping off the jab left and right, and you start to see the nose start to turn red, and you're not changing your game plan, you're in for a world of hurt. I mean, like, I don't know how he was doing it, but the jab was getting right in between the guard of McDonald that I swear he wasn't seeing it at all. It was just one of those things like, left, left.
Something that came out after this fight made me kind of discouraged a little bit. Because you're saying that he wasn't actually seeing the jab, and when I was watching it, I could kind of understand that, because then I read what the Red King said, and that made me even worry a little bit more about the Red King himself. Because something in combat sports that we have all known, because of all the fighters that we know, something that you cannot do at any point in time is mentally check out.
And if you mentally check out, you're mentally done. And yeah,
You got knocked up.
when you see that fight, you see him kind of mentally check out. And in that moment that I could kind of see he mentally checked out was in the second round when he did a roll into a takedown attempt. And when he barrel
to me, that was like his give up moment.
Yes, and when he gave up, that was it. Mousasi pounced on him, ground and pound, and beat him to a pulp. And you're beginning to wonder that at some point when you are 10 pounds heavier in that fight, did that play a factor? Because he couldn't get Gegard Mousasi off of him. Like we've known, when we wrestled growing up as a kid, you were always that 5 pounds bigger than me. That 5 pounds bigger than me. And when you are on somebody and you're using even 5 pounds,
you know how to use the weight.
And you know how to use the weight, you make somebody uncomfortable. It is hard to maneuver somebody off of them. So when you're 10 pounds of extra added weight and you're on top of a guy in full mount and you're getting beaten to a pulp,
Dropping elbows.
you have no thing. And the fact that these guys said that the fight was stopped due to TKO, due to strikes, go back, rewatch that. McDonald actually tapped out.
I was just
going to
say that. Yes. And
go
it's funny
back and watch
talking about that.
Yeah, go back and watch that video, folks. He tapped out due to strikes. He was not TKO'd. I was like, wait a second. Roy McDonald just tapped on the ground due to strikes. That's how bad it was. It was as if I was watching Roy McDonald versus Robbie Lawler all over again in that moment when his nose got shattered. So at this point, what will happen to Roy McDonald in the welterweight tournament? What is next? What type of McDonald are we going to get? Is he broken? Is he mentally broken again? Did Gegard Mousasi do what Robbie Lawler did to him?
That nose, you know, like One Up said, wonder if his nose will ever be the same after the Lawler fight, you know? The brutality that he took again to the nose is something that I don't think anybody could ever imagine. Because when you break your nose and they have to reset it, it never is exactly 100% the way that it used to be. And then when you break it a second time, the first time, David Bramlett, Lorenz Larkin will smash on him.
I don't doubt
it. Because you're looking at the power, you're looking at the kind of the ferocity that it takes to smash somebody. When you're looking at Rory McDonald, he was a shell of a man when he left UFC after the fight.
Then he regrouped when he came to Bellator,
thinking that I'm going to be this guy that I will demolish anybody. I will put bodies in body bags. Remember that? He was that guy that came to Bellator, said he would put all the welterweights in a body bag. He did that.
And I find it very funny that not a lot of people are talking about the fact that he made such a bold statement. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to go up. I'm going to take the 185 title. I'm going to take the 175, and I'm going to take the 185. Hold up. Wait a minute. Reevaluate the situation. Focus on your guys at the welterweight level. Wait for it. Embrace your change. Then figure it out. The only saving grace for Rory McDonald going forward is the fact that he's facing John Finch. We all know that's not going to be a stand-up contest.
No, but even if it's not a stand-up contest, you know, right now you look at Rory McDonald, who is not 100% mentally and physically now. So I look at that fight, which was supposed to be a great fight between John Finch and Rory McDonald. If I'm looking at this fight, there's no way this fight happens, and this guy gets pushed back till I think the next time we see him is going to be in 2019. I don't think he fights again this year. If he's smart, and if Bellator's smart, you put him on the back burner till 2019, because once again, just like you had in the UFC, Sean, with the Rory McDonald fight, Rory Lawler and McDonald fight, this fight can't happen. You cannot put a broken man in a fight against John Finch.
Yeah, you can. You can put a broken guy in against John Finch because it's John Finch. John Finch does not ground and pound you.
I just don't think mentally he'll be ready.
But it's an easier fight. You know the fight's going to the mat. You know you're not going to get punched in the face. You know he's just going to grapple you.
Do you? If the writing's on the wall, that if you take a jab to the face and your nose breaks again just like that.
Go back and watch John Finch's fight. Let that speak for you. Gegard Mousasi is one of the more confusing fighters. Says that, you know what? I want Rafael Lovato Jr. That's who I want. He submitted, what's his name? John Salter last week.
Or you get a rematch against Lyoto Machida.
And he says that, oh, I want Lyoto Machida. Like, okay, why do you want an aging veteran that has been popped by USADA a handful of times, and then you go on public TV or DAZN and says, I want Lyoto Machida, but, oh yeah, by the way, if I get Lyoto Machida, hey, he needs to be tested this, and this, and this.
I love how everybody throws that out now.
Like what's going on here? Like, you either want to fight him or not fight him. Either way, it's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. But he wants to fight in April, Lyoto Machida.
Yeah.
Regardless, win or lose, after he fights Lovato Jr. The one fight that was really puzzling was the fact that Rampage Jackson in that fight,
you want to talk about
for
that
a heavyweight, was 30 pounds more than Wanderlei Silva. 30 pounds more.
And all I could think of is Wanderlei Silva smiling through half the fight while you had a guy probably walking most of the fight. There was no bounce in either one of their steps.
Yeah, the bouncing from Wanderlei Silva was the fact that he was running around the ring going, yes. And then freaking Rampage was going, come on. And then you see Wanderlei going, come on. And it's like, well, there's the middle of the ring. Why are you guys just going around and around?
I thought we were watching a circus fight when I was watching that.
But Rampage...
And then the overhand right.
Rampage looked good for the most part when he got inside the clinch. He actually landed knees. I didn't know he could get up that high. Then you look across the bow and you look at Douglas Lima versus Koreshkov. Douglas Lima, I would be very worried that apparently you have pissed off Douglas Lima.
Yes.
Like, Douglas Lima looks like a man possessed. Run the other direction when you see this guy coming. Because he nearly killed Koreshkov.
And now
that rear naked choke was so deep. I was so scared. I was like, yo, ref, how you not seeing this guy? His eyelids are closed. He is asleep. He is snoring. He is out.
Right.
His face is red. And then it's like, oh, yeah, he's out.
He's
Let
out.
go.
Yes. I don't know if that was a bad stoppage or if that was a guy that when you were looking at him, you're like, okay, it's the Grand Prix. It's a tough fight. Let's see if he can fight out. But, bro, when you're turning 3 different shades of purple, your eyelids are shut, and you are literally gurgling and snoring, you're done. I don't care who you are. That fight should have been stopped.
If I'm anybody in the welterweight division, you're talking about putting people in body bags, watch out for Douglas Lima putting people in body bags.
He's a guy that was heavily favored in this Grand Prix. now gets Michael Venom Page, who was the silent odds-on favorite, as being promoted by DAZN, kind of the sleeping guy right underneath, and here we get it.
You know the fight that I want to see is that when you look at two bangers and bodies of work, now I'm getting excited about the welterweight Grand Prix. Now I'm getting anxious to see where this is going to go. Because if you got an angry Douglas Lima and a pissed off Lorenz Larkin, who just got his third opponent in this welterweight Grand Prix, I don't want to be standing at the end of his attitude and his fist come flying. So you got two pissed off guys in this welterweight tournament that you may just want to run and hide from.
Yes, because if you want to see body bags in this tournament, you're going to get them, because two guys are absolutely pissed off and has one thing on their mind. One's been disrespected in Lorenz Larkin, and one just feels like that he is owed everything, and he's going to prove it to the world, and that's Douglas Lima, and he wants his title back. But then you look at two guys that nobody's talking about, bro. Nobody's talking about. Aaron Pico snatches another body and then calls out Patricio Pitbull and says, hey, I don't care what anybody says. The way that I see it, so the way that I see it is Aaron Pico, the way that he has Freddie Roach behind him, Team Body Shop, Antonio McKee, who continues to just build out these monsters. Aaron Pico, dude, I'm not putting it past him that he goes out there and claims that he's going to dethrone Patricio Pitbull in 3 to 4 years. I think this is coming a hell of a lot quicker.
You know, the interesting thing about Pico when I was watching that fight against Higo was the fact that Pico oozes confidence. And the thing about Pico is the ability that he has to use boxing in an MMA fight. The fact that he whooped on the body of Higo was relentless. I've never seen this before. Like, this kid is pissed off. And this guy is coming through the lightweight division with ferocity that I don't think anybody's seen since Michael Chandler. You look at the body of Aaron Pico and the style in which he fights, he looks like a much better and stronger fighter of a Michael Chandler.
And think about this.
I was like,
he's just a kid.
I was like, if you get this kid to look and rise up to Michael Chandler's status, whoo, lightweight, MMA world.
I am scared for anybody.
You're just seeing the tip of the iceberg with Aaron Pico and Team Body Shop.
But
Team Body Shop takeover.
Another guy we need to also put up there a little bit is Gaston Bolanos. Because Gaston Bolanos, known for lion fight, known for Muay Thai. We've covered several of this kid's fights, and
the king of the spinning back elbow?
Yes, the king of the spinning back elbow landed it in this fight and basically folded up as an opponent like an accordion. And you're going to have to remember that name, because the future of Bellator is Gaston Bolanos and Aaron Pico.
No doubt.
Sky's the limit for these two.
But wait, if you have Dana White, Scott Coker fails at everything he does.
Right.
But with that note, we don't typically fail at a lot of stuff.
But Sean, hold on. Didn't Dana White and the UFC buy Strikeforce? So I'm just trying to figure out that Scott Coker failed, right? Because then didn't he sign Scott Coker to the UFC?
But didn't he really put
only for the midnight hour to strike and say, peace, I'm out?
But on that note, we don't typically fail in a lot of stuff. So let's go over to Lyle.
Oh.
Go ahead.
The video?
Oh, you want the...
Yeah, Sean wants the video. He's all about this level up.
And then we'll go to break after that. And then we'll get Kelvin Laura on the show.
Get up and dance. Level up. 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 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. Level up. 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 All this stuff so yummy. All this stuff so yummy. If you want this yummy.
you go. That's apparently what got Michelle Waterson 20,000 additional followers on Instagram.
Damn, son.
20,000.
Hey, if you look like that and you dance like that, I'm okay with that. She got me followed because apparently I wasn't following her on Instagram. You sent me that. I so would, just saying. But I'm single, I can say that. But
I'm married, I can't say anything.
But you sent me that video. You can look, but you can't touch. But when you sent me that video, apparently I wasn't even following either Holly Holm or Michelle Waterson, even though I find the karate hottie freaking actually hottie like her name. But yeah, I was like, what the heck? And then she was dancing. I was like, you got my follow. Click. So I was one of those 20,000 new Instagram followers. Yeah, I was one. I was one. I'm not gonna lie, I was one. I'll take it. But we're the new Cross Brothers, the Sports Warriors, right here on IELiveTV.com. We got Facebook Live. Just follow Sean and Tristan Ducross or the Ducross Brothers. We're here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But we got a guest in the building, in the Warriors Den. It is the IE Marketing Director, Kelvin Laura. He's in the building. He'll be joining us momentarily. But we're the Ducross Brothers. Follow us. Give us a little like. Show us a little love. We'll be right back. And then, oh yeah, I got something for the fight fans from One Up MMA. So we're going to give you that little shout out too. We'll be right back.
You're now listening to the Sports Wars with Sean and Tristan Ducross every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want all your local amateur MMA news? You want a new fresh take on pro MMA? This is your show every Wednesday on IELiveTV.com and Facebook Live.
It's time! Oh my. It's time! No. It's time.
Bruce, time for dinner.
Hello, I'm Lyle Murdoch of IE Live TV. Have you ever had an idea or dreamt about producing your own show? Or maybe you just have an event that you'd like to make available online? Then contact us here at IE Live TV. We are using the latest technology in live streaming and top quality video equipment in our productions. Servicing all audio and video needs, our systems are compact, wireless, and completely mobile, so our presence is barely noticeable. Here at IE Live TV, we're doing high quality audio and video productions at a fraction of the cost of other production studios. To find us, just go to www.ielivetv.com or give us a call at 866-831-5737. IE Live TV for quality live video streaming.
What's up, everybody? We're the new Cross Brothers. We're the Sports Warriors. I'm Tristan Ducross. I was just thinking about this. Damn, I kind of wish that karate hottie or somebody would teach me how to dance. So, just saying, like, I'm up for it. Just saying. But in the meantime,
Let's make that one a little awkward.
but only here on the new Cross Brothers Sports Warriors, we give you different things and different kind of opinions, different topics. Every Wednesday, we do something different. This week, we have Kelvin Laura, the IE Marketing Director, as we move forward with IE Fight Night and pushing to Night of the Champions, October 20th. It's going down in Ontario. We'll get him on in a minute, but in the meantime, our boys in the chat room, One Up MMA, has a kind of like a little giveaway going on. So if you want to shoot them a voice clip of the winner of the Khabib versus Conor McGregor fight, if you guess correctly, you will be entered into a draw, and the winner of that draw will win some kind of MMA combat memorabilia, I'm assuming is what it's going to be. So definitely head over to One Up MMA and send in your video clips of who you think is going to win. to them and get entered into a draw. They're going to give away something, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, Sean, IE Fight Night continues to
grow,
right, and push that envelope to actually do things. I don't want to say correctly, but you know.
But when you've been around the game as long as we have,
right,
they do things correctly.
Right, and you continue to try to put the best fights on, and Night of the Champions will be no different. You will see debuters. You will see guys that will be coming out from the last fight card as we continue to see the growth of IE Fight Night and the push that David Bramlett and Lorenz Larkin has. Their vision far surpasses just this amateur scene. So make no mistake about it. This is the start of something bigger. And IE Fight Night's marketing director, Kelvin, is in the building. Kelvin, welcome to the Sports Warriors. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah, cool. You're good. We got you.
Awesome. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. So you're now the marketing director of IE Fight Night.
Correct.
And MMA continues to grow at a fast rate, especially here in the Inland Empire.
Right.
What is your take? What has your thoughts been on now donning this role for our IE Fight Night?
Yeah, well, it's incredibly exciting. Obviously, you know, all over the world, MMA is growing very, very rapidly. You know, I think that what David and Lorenz are doing here is just fantastic. They're really doing it the right way. And I think it's going to be really indicative of how much it's really growing. I mean, you're starting to see martial arts institutions all over the place. I mean, we've always had karate places, but now you're starting to see taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, boxing places pop up all over the place. We have the UFC gym right down the street, you know. And I think what's really important, and what I think Lorenz and David are really going to prove, is that this is now, it's not only growing, but it's here to stay. You know, you see a lot of like regional fight scenes that they'll have a promotion and they'll put on maybe 1 or 2 fights and then they disappear, never be here from again. I think what's really, really exciting about IE Fight Night is that they're really going to become a staple. IE, it's right there, right in the name. You know, we're going to see something that is really going to be something that people want to come out and see, and something people to support.
See, support. You're talking about support with the IE. Inland Empire. Inland Empire has been, I want to say, kind of under the radar for a little while because it was a lot of the San Diego, LA, but nothing in between.
Right.
What do you think is the progression level for the Inland Empire right now, outside of the 2 big conglomerates, the markets being out west and out east?
Well, I think it's a perfect opportunity because, you know, when you think of like entertainment, stuff like that, people don't often think of the Inland Empire. I don't really know why. I know here in the Inland Empire, we have a lot of like warehousing business, a lot of manufacturing, stuff like that. But something I think is kind of unfortunate is you hear certain people, you know, that are locals, and they say that if they're, you know, in for entertainment, they want to go out to LA, they want to go out to Orange County, stuff like that. You hear people complain that there isn't really enough to do here in the Inland Empire. So I think from all angles, it's a really great thing. I think for people that are just fans, it'll give them something to do. I'm super excited about this. I'm telling everybody I know because, you know, I've been, and it's a ridiculous amount of fun. And actually, I just graduated. I got my degree in sports and entertainment marketing. And while I was in the program, I had to do all my presentations were on MMA, sports, and that sort of thing, right? And I had to do a presentation once where I had to basically sell mixed martial arts to the class. And what I said was that it's difficult for other people to get into other sports like football and baseball because if they don't know it, you know, it's difficult for them to get into it. But fighting is inherently entertaining. And what I used to tell my classmates is, you know, if you walk out and you're walking to the parking lot and you see a couple guys playing basketball, are you going to stop and watch? Probably not. If you see some people throwing around football, you're probably not going to stop and watch. You see 2 people in each other's faces and they're about to throw fists, you're going to stop and watch, you know? So I think it's a really great thing, especially because it's going to be here in the Inland Empire. It's going to be year round. This is something for people to do here in the Inland Empire. People that aren't paying attention, I think it's my job to get them to start paying attention. And so that's from the fans' perspective. From the actual martial artists, if they didn't really feel like they had the opportunities here, well, the opportunity's here now. You know, it's time to make your name here. It's time to put your career in motion here, right here in the Inland Empire.
So as being the marketing director for IE Fight Night, how do you plan to put yourself out there for the people to recognize IE Fight Night more?
Well, first and foremost, the very foundation of it is the product itself, and the product is outstanding. It's fantastic. So that's the foundation. That's where we start. After that, you know, we're going to get a little bit of help just because MMA is growing in and of itself. You know, we saw Bellator; they've got it on Paramount Network. UFC's got cards on, you know, on Fox, stuff like that. But I really think that it's just a matter of getting eyeballs there. Social media is a really, really big thing. But that's what I do. That's what I've been doing my entire life. I've been a sports fan my entire life, and I have transformed all my family and friends into fans of one sport or another. I've got my family that's like really big football fans now. I've turned my friends on to soccer. I myself have been buying the last several pay-per-views, inviting my friends over, and I have a lot of friends that they're amazed that they had never paid attention to this before. And they start to learn different fighters, they start to learn all these different things, and then, you know, they get on Wikipedia and they're like, man, I missed this fight and I missed that fight, and they're like, where was I? That's my job. I'm trying to get people to pay attention to what's really going on. But like I said, social media is a really big one. The product is really, really good. So it's just a matter of time, effort, and getting people's eyeballs and attention. And
the approach that David Bramlin and Lorenz Larkin has with IE Fight Night isn't your typical, like you would see in amateur.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking this as a legit business, a legit company.
Yep.
They are an established LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in this for the long haul.
Absolutely.
So it's like the fight fans have to look at it completely different too.
Right.
That you're going to go see there, like you said, to see quality fights, not just, oh, these guys are amateurs. Really? Like, there's a reason behind it.
Absolutely.
Grassroots.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, energy is a really big thing. And, you know, even though they are doing amateurs and, you know, they'll be progressing on to professionals, the cool thing about the amateur scene actually is that a lot of the people in attendance are family and friends of the fighters. And that just makes for all kinds of energy. I mean, you see people, when people win, it's just as loud as it would be at any other professional, you know, event. So, yeah, I mean.
We're looking at the play-by-play guys right here.
Yeah.
It's deafening at times.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, how did you get transitioned, though, into combat sports? Like, what was the drive behind you that said, you know what? I like combat sports, and this is kind of the direction that I want to go.
Well, a couple of things actually. So first and foremost, I really have an eye for things that are growing. I really like things that are, you know, for growth. And you know, like I said, I've been a giant sports fan my entire life. But most sports, they're well established. Football has been around for, you know, more than a century. So has soccer, so has baseball, so has hockey. But MMA it's fresh. You know, I mean, it hasn't really been around for that long. So we're only now transitioning into the point where it's becoming a mainstream thing. You know, we're going to see UFC on ESPN next year. It's something that is slowly making its way there. It's a sport too. You know, like, well, I remember when I was growing up, if you wanted to learn how to fight, the only thing that anybody would know is karate. You know, like that's like the cliche thing that, you know, if someone's going to get in a fight, like, oh, don't fight that guy, he knows karate. You know, nobody knew about. I didn't know
break a board.
Right, exactly. I didn't know about boxing and wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all these things, and people are really starting to notice that now. And you're not getting just people that are specialists now. You're having kids from a young age start to train in the sport in and of itself. They're training as a mixed martial artist. They're training across all disciplines. So for me, it was in between two things. It was either soccer or MMA. Soccer is worldwide renowned, but here in the States, it's barely getting there, right? The MLS is just now reaching that point where it's becoming a really, really, really well-established thing. But for me, MMA is really where it's at. It's amazing to me that it's not as mainstream as the rest of those sports, because to me, it's better in so many different ways.
It is, because it can cater to a lot of different people, and it can cater to a lot of different generations, and it can relate to an upbringing that many people may not know.
Yep.
So it's an interesting thing, just like it's interesting to see what exactly are you going to bring to the investors for IE Fight Night when it comes to sponsorships.
Yep.
What is something that you're going to put out there for them that's going to kind of gain traction?
Yeah, the opportunities for them.
Right, and so that's the third thing, right? So I first mentioned the opportunities for fans, it's something new for fans, and then I mentioned about fighters, if they didn't have any opportunities anywhere else, now the opportunity's here. But for investors and for businesses, I think it's just how I highlighted right now that it's a really important thing for growth. That's something that investors should definitely be paying attention to. In business, one of the biggest things is being first to the party, right? So if you're a business and you're thinking about where to invest your money, where to put yourself out there so that people can look at it and you get recognition. I mean, your basic options right now, it's pretty crowded, right? Like where are you gonna put yourself that no one else has been before? So if I was a business owner, I'm taking a look at something and you're seeing something that's growing so rapidly and that has the potential to be something so huge, right now is the time to do it. Especially here in the Inland Empire. Because I think like most people feel like their options are limited. Maybe they don't have all the necessary places to advertise, or maybe they've even given up on advertising altogether because they don't think it works. I really think that this is the opportunity. This is the time to do it.
So where can people reach you to get a hold of you? So with the sponsorship and the opportunities, so how can people get a hold of you? Yeah,
so we'll be setting up a direct line here pretty shortly. But the best place right now to do that is to contact us on Instagram, Facebook, i.e. Fight Night. And then, like I said, we'll be setting up some direct lines here shortly, and I'll make sure that we get those out there.
All right. Kevin Lara, the IE Fight Night marketing director in the building. In the Warriors Den. Thank you, Kelvin, for joining us and
absolutely
kind of shedding some light on what it means now in the MMA world
and why you need to get out there and you need to support IE Fight Night and the sponsorship behind it and everything. So hit up Kelvin Lara on IE Fight Night. Let's get this ball going. Let's show exactly why
the
IE
sky's
Fight
the
Night.
limit with all the possibilities and everything that we know about the driving force behind this. I mean,
so he said it best. You want to be first to the party, not last to the party.
Yes, and you
so
want
with
to be
everything
first.
that's coming down the pipe, you want to be the first one, not the last one.
I'm going to steal a line from a wrestler. Get on the gravy train. Don't be a dummy. Yeah. We're the Ducross brothers.
Son.
We're the Sports Warriors. I'm Tristan Ducross, as always. My brother, Sean Ducross. IE Live TV, Facebook. We're your boys for all combat sports. You want a different take, a different view. This is your show. Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Sports Warriors, www.ducrossbrothers.com. Search Sean and Tristan Ducross. Like our fan page, Ducross Brothers.
Go follow IE Fight Night on Facebook.
Yes,
Go follow
sir.
them on Instagram.
Go follow them on Twitter. Follow David Bramlett, Lorenz Larkin. They're the boys that are driving this. And it's just going to be an awesome venture. So please get sponsorships. Let's go. Let's get this on the gravy train. Until next time, we're out.